Today I'm going to be reviewing Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. And my god, I have to say, what a movie. This movie is fantastic. All the way from the opening scene to the opening credits, the entire movie to the end, it was fantastic. Very well paced. Just a joy to be able to consume such a magnificent piece of art, really. It's really impressive what they were able to achieve with this movie. And with that said, let's dive deeper into what we experienced in the movie. The overall cinematography of this movie was fantastic. I believe this is some of the best work from the director who has worked with Tom Cruise for the third time right now, Christopher McQuarrie. I believe this is his third movie with Tom Cruise, and each time he appears to improve significantly more than the last. Fallout was already impressive, and I wasn't sure how they were going to top Fallout, and they for sure did that here. All right, and the score is fantastic as well, as you know, with all the Mission Impossible movies. The score for this is in tune with all of them, and they're all fucking great. Really good. Really, really good. All right, so the characters. So we have Rebecca Ferguson as Ilsa, and overall, I thought her character was she didn't really have much to do, but with the little screen time she had an epic action scene at the beginning of the movie. You guys may have seen clips of it in the trailers, but I thought her action scenes were spectacular. But overall, she had a limited role in this movie, and eventually something along the line in the movie happens to her, and I'm not sure they handled it very well. But overall, I thought her character was okay. Benjin and Luther were alright. They were comedic reliefs in this as well. They would help add to the plot. I love the dynamic with Ethan Hunt, played by Tom Cruise. And overall, I just thought they were delight. They were refreshing in such a dense and very fast-paced movie. So overall, I really enjoyed their characters. Hayley Atwell as Grace. I think she's a standout in this movie. To be very honest with you guys, I think this is, you can argue this is her movie. She's on the screen a lot, and I thought she was very charming. She plays kind of a bratish character, but I thought overall she had the charm, and she had a very good character arc throughout the movie that I felt really left her character off on a good note. And her character is very similar to, say, her character is very similar to another character that I saw in Indiana Jones. I liked both characters, and I thought this was very similar to that, so I really enjoyed it. Great, Hayley Atwell as Grace really gave out a standout performance for the movie, in my opinion. Wow, props to her. She was fantastic in this. Moving on, we have Pom Klementieff as Paris. She didn't really talk a lot in this, but Pom Klementieff killed it. She was a badass in this role. So in this role here, you could really feel her menace. She had a really raunchy fight scene with Tom Cruise as Ethan Hunt in one of the alleys. I thought was very fantastically directed. It felt very raunchy, and I just thought it was fantastic. Her role in this was very fantastic. There's a bit of a twist at the end with her, and you guys won't see that coming, but I thought she was really, really good in this. So Vanessa Kirby as White Widow. Again, this is another character that I felt was underutilized. She didn't really have a ton to do. She met up and talked a little bit, but overall she was underutilized. I think that's one thing I'll critique about the movie. Vanessa Kirby was underutilized as a character in general. Well, Vanessa Kirby as the actor playing White Widow. White Widow was underutilized in general in this movie. So going forward, I hope they expand her role. Maybe, let's say, just because this is just part 1, so let's say in the overall story itself to come in part 2, that there is a bit more for her to do as the White Widow. But overall, I can't really give her performance, I can't really say too much on her performance because I felt it was very limited. So overall, I would say it was alright. SM Morales as Gabriel. Gabriel was outstanding. He's the main villain, I should say, and he was really fantastic. I like the whole idea of him being the manifestation of another thing that was the main villain. So there's a bit of a conjunction between this character and another character that's the villain, and I thought it was clever, really, from the writing team and just how it was directed. I thought he gave a standout performance in this. He's very commanding on screen. Of course, I remember him from Sicario, and that work he did with Denis Villeneuve. I thought he was fantastic in that, and I think he gives that level of performance that he had in Sicario, he brings it to here, and a bit of a similarity between characters, in my opinion. And overall, I thought it was a very standout performance. And to the man himself, Tom Cruise as Ethan Hunt, I thought he gave, like, these were some of the biggest stunts ever in the movie, and it is fantastic here. He's top-notch acting. He commands the screen as usual. He has that aura about him that just invites you to want to watch what he's going to do next. I thought he had a very strong commanding presence of the movie. I know I said Haley Atwell's Grace was a standout in this movie, but Tom Cruise as Ethan Hunt holds his own very well. All right, so the action sequences in this movie were top notch. Some of the best action sequences I have ever seen. Now, I won't say the choreography is up to par with, say, the John Wick movies, but as far as how you creatively apply, creatively direct, and come up with action sequences, this movie was right up there. Some of the craziest scenes ever, especially the train scene. I think that might be my favorite train scene I've seen in the movie so far. Wow. I was on the edge of my seat when watching this. Just for that train scene, I would recommend anyone to go see this movie. That scene was worth the ticket alone. But this entire movie holds up together. So I'm not saying just go there for train scene, but just for that train scene alone, it is that good. Go see it for that, just for that, even if. Alright, so again, this movie at 2 hours and 40 minutes plus is a very long movie, but you don't feel the pacing. This movie goes by very quickly. It's always something exciting going on. It's very fast paced with tons of humor. I thought the humor landed. My theater wasn't really laughing a ton because we had an older audience, but overall, with much younger audiences, I believe some of these jokes might land more middle-aged to younger audiences, but overall comedy landed, and it was just a really, in a sense, it helps make the film feel familiar. All right, so let's talk the ending. I'm not going to go too much into depth because I don't want to spoil too much, but the ending, I thought, compared to, say, Across the Spider-Verse, where you had on a cliffhanger, Across the Spider-Verse is also part 1, while Mission Impossible was also marketed as part 1. This does not end on a cliffhanger. You have a satisfying end that it feels like you go through an entire arc from the start of the movie to the end, and there's no cliffhanger there. So audiences that go out to see this movie, I feel, will have a really good time with that and feel satisfied by the end of the movie. So far, I would say this movie is the second best movie I've seen this year, behind Across the Spider-Verse, of course. Spider-Verse is my favorite movie of the year so far. We'll see if any other movies can top Spider-Verse. We have Dune Part 2, Killers of the Flower Moon, Barbie, and Oppenheimer. We'll see. But overall, right now, this movie is my second favorite movie of the year. Overall, I will give this movie a 9 out of 10. Again, just for all the how outstanding it is as an action movie, I felt this was edge over your seat, nail biting experience. It was intense, very well choreographed, thought out. There was a lot of intention and passion put into this, and I for one cannot give this anything less than 9 out of 10. Again, I'm gonna see this again eventually just to see how it sits with me over time. But as of right now, I'm giving it a solid 9 out of 10. Beyond the watch out, I'm gonna release a reaction video to Mission Impossible Fallout. I filmed my reaction for it for the YouTube, and I'll be posting it on here sometime at the end of this week. Thank you guys for watching. As always, see ya.